Hey everybody, it's Lachelle, America's Supermom, and we are on day 9 of our challenge. I'm so glad that you guys decided to take this journey with me. Today's theme is the power of three. I want to give credit where credit is due, and I want to give a shout out to Allison Stoner. For many of you who don't know who she is, look her up on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. She is a Disney star, and she has quite a journey that she has been on. But I'm going to give you a little bit of insight about the power of three. Now, that's not really what she calls it, but that's just something quick that I transformed it to be, because transformation is one of the three things that she mentions. So she takes some time to talk about how life is about us being whole. If you go to an event, sometimes we're broken. We feel like maybe we don't know anybody. We're not going to say the right thing. We're coming from a place of not feeling adequate, having self doubt, limiting beliefs. And so she flips this whole thing around and says that we need to be thinking about the things that make us whole, where there is no brokenness, and that we are free to be who we are. Now I'm paraphrasing in my own interpretation, but that's what I got out of her message. So she asked three questions. Should I keep it, transform it, or toss it? And so I want to challenge you guys as you go about your week to think about just anything that can happen in your life. If it's a relationship, if it is a business partner, a customer situation, social media and its impact, a comment that somebody makes. Should you keep it? Should you transform it? Or should you toss it? And so let me just give you a quick example. So my daughter and I had to go to a court hearing today. And she was subpoenaed because somebody actually did a hit and run on her. So we get there, there's not a lot of direction. We're in line when we should have been inside the courtroom. We find out once we get inside that they're not going to need her today, but all of it was through the power of asking questions. We kept trying to get with the decision maker or somebody who was an authority who could let us know what was going on and the journey that we had with that. And it was a pretty bad experience in our eyes, meaning, we felt it was very unorganized. Just nothing was really lined out, mapped out. People are taking off work or whatever their situation is. And you just felt like your time wasn't valued, as the person that was waiting to determine what your fate would be. My daughter would have been at work and she's taken time off. And this is something that, was not even her fault, but she is being treated as if the problem is with her and any of the other people that were there for court. So, how do I apply this? Keep it, transform it, or toss it? Well, one, I want to toss out the experience. I don't want to transfer any of my anger or frustration on anybody who's not involved in this particular event. So if I was to come home or go to another location after I leave the courthouse, it's no reason for me to have an attitude of frustration with somebody who had nothing to do with that experience. So that's one situation of tossing it. Um, Keeping it. Keeping it is thinking about what about this situation can I keep? You know, um, Maybe asking more questions ahead of time. There was some numbers that were listed on the bottom of the subpoena. So maybe if I had called in advance to figure out what the time frame would be, who I need to talk to, so that I could be more informed when I actually got there to court instead of being treated like everyone else in the general population. So I could keep that mindset so that the next time I'm able to know what is expected. And then transform it is it was very hard to ignore the needs of other people. So just as my daughter was taking off work, there could have been people that, were depending on other people to bring them back and forth. Maybe they didn't have transportation, so they didn't have a clear timeline. Maybe there could have been better communication with the powers to be, so to speak, and those that were waiting to go into the courtroom. Just when you would look at different things, look at if it can be transformed, what control do you have over that transformation? Now, my experience, I can't control what the people in authority do, but I can control what I know, what my expectations are, and what I'm supposed to be doing. And so that's how I transform it, is looking through my eyes in terms of the things that I can control. What could I have done differently? And so you can apply this to anything. Let's say you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is look at your phone. Now, if that gives you energy, if that helps you get excited for the day, we have to think about how it serves us. I don't care what other people are saying. If they're saying, hey, start your day, then look at your phone, that may work for them, but that may not work for you. So depending on what works for you, you have to look at, how do I feel? Is this making me more whole, making me more positive, the person that I want to be? And if it's not, decide if you can transform that in some way. So maybe social media might not be something that you need to do first thing in the morning. Maybe you need to do it after you've spent an hour doing something else more productive, and then you can use that time for being on social media. Or you can toss it all together and do it one day a week if you feel like that would be more productive for you. So when we look at things, think about what the goal is for it. So if I look at social media and I say, well, what is my goal for this? If it's to engage and make comments on people's posts and do these kind of things, how actively engaged should you be if that's your brand, for example? If that's your brand where you're depending on engagement, then I can understand why you would be on social media. But if you are working a job and social media is taking you away from your productivity and making you down, and you're comparing yourself to others and feeling worse than when you picked it up, then you might want to reevaluate if you should toss it or transform it in some way so that you begin to take control in that situation. So I know this was kind of long-winded, but I just really was amazed at the information that I was able to gather from this Disney Channel star. So again, her name is Allison Stoner. Check her out, follow her so you can hear her story. And it's the mindset of a millennial, but the thing about it is we have to think about, what is our end goal? So if your goal is to win a marathon, it doesn't matter how old the person is that's giving you insight. If they've run a marathon before and they can give you some information that's going to serve you, then it's good to listen to it. So we have to have that mindset that it's not about the messenger, it's about the message. How is it going to make us whole? Should we keep it, transform it, or toss it? That's all I have for today. Make sure that we're reading 30 minutes for good to great and 30 minutes of exercise. You have a wonderful Monday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.